Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into AI agents. They're promising to completely change the way we work, but what's really going on behind all the headlines? Is this a genuine game changer, or are we just on another hype train? All right, let's get into it.
So first off, let's be super clear about what we mean by an agent. We are not talking about your average chatbot that just, answers questions. An AI agent is a system that can actually do things. It thinks through problems, makes its own calls, and takes action all by itself to get complex jobs done. This is a massive shift in how we even think about software. And get this, a new report from Anthropic just dropped, and it reveals that a staggering 80% of business leaders are saying that AI agents are already delivering real, measurable financial value. That's not some far-off projection. That's money in the bank, right now.
So, let's start there, with that incredible promise. What are these early wins that have everyone so fired up? And what does that 80% number actually look like out in the real world?
Well, the first thing to know is that we're way beyond just automating simple to-do lists. I mean, look at the data. A full 57%, that's over half of businesses, are already using agents for really complex, multi-step workflows. We're talking about systems that can run an entire process from beginning to end.
And software development is on a whole other level. Nearly 9 out of 10 companies are now using coding agents. But here's the wild part. Almost half of them trust these agents to actually lead the development process, with humans stepping in to review the work and set the big picture strategy. It's just a massive accelerator.
So the bottom line is, this isn't just talk. There's that 80% figure again. This is tangible, measurable financial impact. This isn't some fuzzy value from a tiny pilot project. The ROI is real, and it's happening now.
To really wrap your head around this, just look at the pharmaceutical giant Novo Nordisk. They had this incredibly complex process for creating clinical study reports that used to take over 10 weeks of hard work. With an AI agent system, it now takes them 10 minutes. 10 weeks to 10 minutes. That's not an improvement, that's a complete revolution.
And it's not just one company striking gold. L'Oreal is getting almost perfect accuracy on customer analytics. A tech startup, Lovable, is helping its users ship code 20 times faster. And in cybersecurity, a company called eSentire took threat analysis from a 5-hour job down to just 7 minutes. The impact is everywhere.
Okay, so the promise is huge. The wins are undeniable. But is that the whole story? Let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this revolution, the very real challenge of scaling up.
I mean, these examples are incredible, right? But it kind of begs the question, if the results are this good, is every single company out there seeing these game-changing benefits across their whole business?
And here's where the reality check comes in. A big global survey from McKinsey shows that while tons of companies are using AI, only 39% say it's actually making a dent in their overall company earnings. So what is going on here? Why the huge disconnect?
Well, the gap is all about one thing, the difference between just experimenting and truly scaling. See, it's one thing to run a cool pilot project in one department and get a great result. It's a completely different challenge to weave AI into all your workflows to drive real bottom-line benefits for the entire company. And that right there is where most companies are getting stuck.
And the hurdles aren't just about the technology. This is so key. Sure, getting the new AI to talk to your old systems is a massive challenge. 46% of companies struggle with it. But look closer. Right up there with it are data quality and change management. This is a people problem just as much as it is a tech problem. So, how do you actually bridge that gap between the amazing promise and the tough reality? Well, let's take a look at the playbook from the companies that are actually winning at this at scale.
McKinsey has identified this small elite group they call the AI high performers. Now, they're only about 6% of all companies, but what they're doing differently is basically a roadmap for everyone else.
Their entire strategy really boils down to 3 core principles. First, they're not just looking for small efficiencies. They are aiming for a total transformation of their business. Second, they're not just tweaking old processes. They are fundamentally redesigning how work gets done. And third, they have serious active buy-in from the very top. And this first point is a total game changer. This chart shows that while pretty much everyone uses AI to improve efficiency, to save a few bucks, the high performers are way more likely to be aiming for growth and innovation. They're not just playing defense, they're playing offense. And this bigger picture focus has a direct payoff for their people.
In these top companies, employees are spending way more time on what actually matters. 66% more time on strategy and 70% more time learning new skills. The AI agents are elevating their work, not just replacing it.
Okay, but if you take away just one thing, let it be this. The high performers are nearly 3 times more likely to fundamentally redesign their workflows. They don't just paste an AI tool on top of an old, clunky process. They rethink the entire process from scratch with AI at the very core. So instead of just asking, can an agent write my reports faster? They ask, can a team of agents gather the data, write the draft, visualize it, and get it approved, turning a week-long process into a few hours? That mindset shift is everything.
So when you put this all together, it becomes really clear we're not just talking about a small improvement here. We are talking about fundamentally redesigning the future of work itself.
And this is all happening incredibly fast. The data shows 8 out of 10 businesses are planning to move toward more complex, cross-functional agents in the next year alone. We're talking about whole systems of agents, teams of AI that can work together across departments like sales, marketing, and operations to handle entire business processes, all on their own. The pressure to adapt is getting intense.
So here's the bottom line. The AI agent revolution isn't about automating your current to-do list. It's about having the vision to completely redesign it. The companies that are winning understand this. So the question is no longer if this will change your business, but how you'll respond. Are you ready to redesign?